Alright, so one thing I always recommend for those who are starting to read is to just go card by card. So think of it like flashcards in school. The best way to learn is really to go one by one. Um, so if you have this deck, or actually any other deck, I advise you just turn it down, flip it over, have your guide next to you, and then open one card. Ask yourself, okay, what do you feel this means for you? And then check, open the guide and see if it's a match. And yeah, just go one at a time. And I know this can be kind of boring, but if your deck is new and you're new to the cards, then you'll have a lot to play around with. So that's the first step. Technique gets a little boring, and it probably will, especially if you're familiar with the cards already. You can either use two decks, okay, but not everyone has two decks. So I suggest, if you don't have two decks, just split your deck in two. So what you want to do for this style is work with two cards at a time. One important detail, sorry, my hair is wet, I just showered. One important detail when doing this kind of practice is to not go into it with an intention of reading for yourself. Do it because you want to practice and you want to learn, so that you're not bringing any like big questions to the table. As in, you're just doing it so that you get familiar with the cards. So try to stay as neutral as possible. I mean, of course, we're always going to have biases. We're always going to have things in our head. But as much as possible, approach it with as clean a slate as possible. Okay, so I have my two divisions, and all I do is flip the top cards there. Okay, so with the Practical Magic deck, I put keywords. If you don't know how to read, they can help guide you. Otherwise, if you're a visual person, you can go with the pictures or both. So I'm a very wordy person because I'm a writer, so I go with the words. So sharp clarity plus just do the work. Think of the first thing that comes into mind when you put these two phrases together. For me, I look at this first. Doing the work equals becoming clear. And that's it. That's it. That's the end of your reading, and that's your two card spread. Okay, let's do the next round. So, top card. You get poorly and romance. So, poorly means you're not feeling well, and romance is a relationship. So, put them together, not feeling too well in a relationship. And then you just stop there and don't go any further. Don't bring any stories into that. This is just for practice. Okay, so what about oracle cards, which are not as structured as tarot? So we do the same thing. Pull the top card, and then string them together. So the tarot card says, relocate to a better place. And then the no filter card, or the oracle card, says, transform anxiety into excitement. Okay, so you just string those two thoughts together. For me, relocating to a better place, it can cause a lot of anxiety, but you have the power to transform that anxiety into excitement. So relocating can cause anxiety, but it can also spark excitement. So I guess the better choice between the two is excitement. Okay, let's do one more round. So top card. Okay. Boss babe, it says. Oops. And then this one is scratch that itch because you want to. So quick interpretation. Being a boss is probably an itch that you want to scratch. So go ahead, do it. Be a boss. Okay, so I'm gonna demo three cards since we started with one and then two. So makes sense to go with three. I'm not assigning any meanings. I'm not doing like past, present, future, mind, body, spirit, or all of that. I'm just like stringing these thoughts together into one hopefully coherent thought. Okay, so top card again. 1, 2, 3. Okay, wow, this one again. Okay, so you can have your guide beside you. If you're kind of used to the meanings already, you can just go on your own intuition. So justice, empress, sharp clarity. So I'm gonna string these together. Okay, justice is fairness, balance, the right thing. The empress means nurturing, caring, protecting. And sharp clarity is being clear in your head. Okay, let's go for round 2. So 1, 2, 3. Again, I didn't shuffle well. Okay, so Knight of Cups, Charmer, 3 of Swords, Heartbreak Warfare, 5 of Pentacles, Poorly. I'm gonna put this together as quickly as I can. If you fall for a charmer, you might get your heart broken and then you won't feel well. Ta-da! Round 3 because I haven't done this in a while and it's kind of fun. So 1, 2, 3. The High Priestess is intuition. Group hang is the hanging out with friends, and the world is celebration. Okay, our instincts want us to come together with friends because that makes us feel like the world is a better place. And obviously, we can't hang out physically with friends right now, but we're hanging out online and that's good enough. It's good enough for now. Lastly, for mga type A, super ambitious readers, let's use 4 decks. So I'm using here the Practical Magic Tarot deck, and then my collabs, Quiet Mystic with Ouija, No Filter with Miko, and Ang Iyong Gabay, which is Miko's cards, which are Miko's cards. So, okay, so again, same thing, same technique. Top card, 1, 2, 3, 4. Kaka-pressure. Okay. So, we have the Chariot, which is all about movement. I love that the colors are the same. Okay, Chariot is movement. If you want better, be better. You're never too busy for what matters. And hinga. Okay, let me pause. Sometimes the message can read left to right, but for me and with this, like some cards are popping up first, or calling my attention first. So this is the first thing I'm noticing. So you're never too busy for what matters, meaning you have time for the important things in life, which makes sense because if you want better things in your life, you're never gonna be too busy for it. The Chariot is all about movement, so you gotta move. You gotta move to make the important things happen so that you become a better person. And this is all super active energy, and it's nice that we got the Hinga card from the Gabay deck, because Hinga, if you don't speak Filipino, means to breathe. So movement is important, improvement is important, but the breath and the pauses are also important. Okay, so for more challenge, let's do it again. Round 2. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, let's do this. The 7 of Swords is the Watch Your Back card. It's about being careful. It's also, for me, being careful, it can either mean you're being cautious, but you can also be overly cautious, that you're kind of paranoid already. So what you need to do when you're overly paranoid is be like a swan. Execute calm on the outside, even if inside you're exerting some effort. Believe that there are no coincidences. You got to the place you're at, even if it's scary, for a reason. And the answer, or sagot in Filipino, will come eventually. Okay, so that's an example of reading cards from left to right. So it's just going by order. But again, it's like just go with whatever grabs your attention first. It just so happened that my attention went here and went straight there. Okay, obviously I'm enjoying. So let's do round 3. Last na. 1. Oh my gosh, I keep getting that moon card. Okay. Whew. Okay, I'm gonna start with this because I've been pulling this like so much. The moon stands for our shadows, like behaviors that we're not happy about, that we kind of try to ignore. Okay, so that gives us a lot of clues and gives us clarity. Our shadows help bring things to light. Wow, deep. Okay, linaw means clear or clarity. Okay, so are you gonna let your shadows bother you? You decide what bothers you. And then I think like as a reprieve to all these cards is the harvest season card, which says the seeds you planted are now ripe. Okay, so doing all this work. Last one got cut, but my interpretation is everything eventually bears fruit if you allow your shadows to bring brightness into your life and yeah, have it not bother you so much. I think that's the point. Anyway, so you'll see that the practice rounds they go really quickly, especially the one card or two card. That's pretty quick, but the more cards you add, the more complicated the spreads get. The more stories you can weave, and that's what we do when we do readings for people. And I think it's interesting because we start out really not intending to like bring our baggage or bring our questions into this kind of thing, but eventually we'll find that the readings that we pull even in our practice sessions, they actually do mean something to us. And I think that happens because it exercises our intuition. It's almost like automatic writing. It's just like you're writing nonstop and just letting the words flow out of your hand. It's the same. So instead of using a pen and paper, you're using cards and just like blurting things out, and then eventually you hit like this light bulb, and then suddenly, wow, that means something to me or to my friend or to everyone. And that's the beautiful thing about this. So yeah, if you're stuck at home, and you have a deck, then you can play around with this idea. I wrote a blog post about what to do, how to start learning. So that's something you can check out in my website, practicalmagic.co. And, because I have nothing else to do, I'll be coming up with more blog posts for people starting on their journeys and starting to learn. I have an ebook. We don't really want to be ordering non-essential things right now, but at least the ebook, it's just electronic, and it goes more in depth into what the cards mean, not just the practical magic deck, but I go into what the traditional Rider-Waite-Smith tarot deck meanings are. And then the book also gives you prompts so that you can write your own meanings for the cards, so that you can get to know the archetypes better, and hopefully be able to do these like practice rounds really quickly, because it's like it's drilled into your mind and you get familiar with your subconscious when you do those prompts. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed your tutorial for today, and bye-bye.